Imagine your iPhone lasting 2 full days without needing a charge. What if I told you that Apple might finally be ready to compete with Android phones when it comes to battery life? The iPhone 18 Pro Max could be packing the biggest battery Apple has ever put in a phone. And we're talking about a massive 5,200 milliamps battery that could change everything. But here's the thing, this isn't just about bigger batteries. Apple is planning some serious changes that could make the iPhone 18 Pro Max the ultimate smartphone. Today we're going to break down all the latest leaks about the iPhone 18 Pro Max. We'll talk about that huge battery, the new chip, camera upgrades, and why Apple might be keeping some features exclusive to the Pro Max model. Stick around because some of these details might surprise you. Let's start with the biggest news, that battery capacity. According to a new leak from digital chat station on Weibo, the iPhone 18 Pro Max is getting a serious battery upgrade. We're looking at around 5,000 to 5,200 milliamp, depending on which version you get. Now here's where it gets interesting. China version of the phone, which will have a physical SIM slot, is expected to land around 5,000 milliamp. But the international versions, which will be eSIM-only, could hit up to 5,200 milliamp. That extra space from removing the physical SIM slot is being used for more battery. To put this in perspective, the current iPhone 16 Pro Max has about 4,676 milliamp. So we're talking about roughly 500 milliamp more capacity. That might not sound like much, but it could mean several extra hours of screen time. What's really impressive is how Apple is approaching this differently than Samsung. Samsung has been stuck at 5,000 milliamp for their Galaxy S Ultra models since 2020. Yeah, you heard that right. The Galaxy S26 Ultra is still expected to have the same 5,000 milliamp battery as phones from 4 years ago. Meanwhile, Apple is pushing forward and actually increasing capacity year over year. But here's the secret sauce that makes this even better. The iPhone 18 Pro Max isn't just getting a bigger battery, it's getting a much more efficient chip. The A20 Pro chip is expected to use a 2nm manufacturing process. This is a huge deal because smaller manufacturing processes mean the chip uses less power while doing the same work. Think of it like switching from an old gas-guzzling car to a hybrid. You're getting more miles per gallon, or in this case, more hours per charge. Current iPhone 17 Pro Max models already beat most Android phones in battery life tests, even with smaller batteries. This comes down to how well iOS and Apple's chips work together. When you combine that optimization with a 5,200 milliamps battery and a 2nm chip, we could see some incredible battery life numbers. We might finally get that 2-day battery life that power users have been waiting for. Now let's talk about the design changes, or should I say, the lack of design changes. According to leaks from Fixed Focus Digital on Weibo, the iPhone 18 series won't look much different from the iPhone 17. Apple is apparently celebrating the success of the iPhone 17 design with champagne, and honestly, this makes sense from Apple's perspective. They rarely make major design changes every single year. Remember how the iPhone 6 and 6 looked almost identical? Or how did the iPhone 12, 13, 14, and 15 all share the same basic design language? Apple prefers to perfect a design over several generations, rather than changing things constantly. But don't worry, the lack of external changes doesn't mean nothing is improving. The internal upgrades could be massive. For example, that vapor chamber cooling system that debuted in the iPhone 17 Pro might make its way to the regular iPhone 18. This kind of cooling helps the phone maintain peak performance for longer periods. It's especially important for gaming and video recording. There are also rumors that the iPhone 18 Pro Max might be slightly thicker and heavier than previous models. Before you panic, this would be necessary to fit that larger battery we talked about. A few extra millimeters of thickness for hours more battery life seems like a fair trade to most people. Now let's dive into the camera upgrades, which is where things get really interesting. The iPhone 18 Pro Max is expected to get a variable aperture camera system. This means you'll be able to control how much light enters the camera lens. In bright conditions, you can use a smaller aperture to avoid overexposed photos. In low light, you can open up the aperture to let more light in for brighter images. Samsung actually tried this feature back in 2018 with the Galaxy S9, but they removed it after a few years. Xiaomi brought it back recently with the Xiaomi 14, so it's not exactly new technology. But Apple has a way of taking existing features and making them work better than anyone else. The telephoto camera is also getting an upgrade with a larger aperture. This should help with portrait photos and zoom shots in challenging lighting conditions. Here's where things get controversial, though. According to the same leaks, the variable aperture camera might only come to the iPhone 18 Pro Max. The regular iPhone 18 Pro could miss out on this feature entirely. This would create a bigger gap between the Pro and Pro Max models than we usually see. Typically, the only differences are screen size, battery life, and maybe one camera feature. But if the Pro Max gets variable aperture and the Pro doesn't, that's a significant camera advantage. There are a few possible reasons for this split. The variable aperture mechanism might be too large to fit in the smaller iPhone 18 Pro body. We've seen this before with the tetraprism telephoto lens that was exclusive to the iPhone 15 Pro Max initially. Apple had to wait until the iPhone 16 Pro got larger to include that feature in both models. Another possibility is production constraints. If Apple can only make limited quantities of these new camera modules at first, they might prioritize the Pro Max. The Pro Max model tends to be more popular and profitable, so it makes business sense. Of course, there's always a chance these leaks are wrong. Analyst Ming-Chi Kuo, who has a better track record, has suggested both Pro models will get variable aperture. We'll have to wait and see which source turns out to be correct. The timing for all these upgrades is still quite far away. The iPhone 18 series isn't expected to launch until September 2026. That gives Apple plenty of time to refine these features and possibly change their plans. It also means we'll probably see more prototype leaks over the next year and a half. Some of the details we're hearing now might change as Apple continues testing and development. But the overall direction seems clear: bigger batteries, more efficient chips, and improved cameras. One thing to consider if you're thinking about upgrading is the timing. If these leaks are accurate, the iPhone 18 Pro Max could be a major upgrade over the iPhone 17 Pro Max. That bigger battery alone might be worth waiting for if you're someone who uses your phone heavily throughout the day. The 2nm chip could also bring performance improvements and even better battery optimization. And if you're into photography, that variable aperture system could give you more creative control over your shots. Of course, we're still talking about a phone that won't be available for almost 2 years. Technology moves fast, and a lot can change between now and then. But these early leaks give us a good idea of where Apple is headed with their flagship phones. So there you have it. Everything we know so far about the iPhone 18 Pro Max and its potentially massive 5,200 mAh battery. Between the bigger battery, more efficient 2nm chip, and possible variable aperture camera, this could be Apple's most impressive Pro Max yet. The fact that Apple is pushing battery capacity higher while Samsung stays at the same 5,000 mAh shows they're serious about competing on battery life. And honestly, it's about time. What do you think about these potential upgrades? Are you excited about the bigger battery, or are you more interested in the camera improvements? Let me know in the comments below which feature matters most to you. That's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more tech news and updates.